Here we are in the bubble again today, and the topic for the day is artificial intelligence. There was a story the other day to the effect of that someone had sued Air Canada because they got the wrong answer from an online chatbot and got overcharged. And the amount of the damages was $812 and some cents, but they probably got much more money in traffic after all that happened. The second part of the story is that I had a negative experience the other day with customer service from the people that provide my web service, my website, internet service provider. And the third part of it is just in a general way, customer service in general. And I think artificial intelligence, like all other forms of artificial anything, is only as good as the information that's put into it. And the other part of that is that it is not infallible. And the other part of that is that it's subject to manipulation. If you had a human customer service department of about 10 operators, and you had some change in your system somehow, like for example in the case of Air Canada, you brought them all in, and I'm sure Air Canada has many more than 10 customer service people. What you would find out was that no amount of training would help. 10 or so of them would be, if you had 10 of them, probably one of them is completely out to lunch and isn't going to get it. One of them is super smart and can tell you right back what it is you told them, and the rest of them is some variation in between. Because of the fact that the policy itself has lack of clarity, it's hard to get the information through to any kind of customer service people. Well, it works exactly that same way with artificial intelligence, I'm sure. Because if you're in a situation where you've got 10 people programming AI and you get 10 different versions of the policy, it's very likely that you'll get lack of alignment. So that's problem number one. Garbage in, garbage out, which is the same problem that you usually get. As it applies to the case of my internet service provider, this is actually what happened. Years ago when I signed up for them, I used the chatbot to try to get some information. And I wasn't an existing customer at the time, and the quality of the service was excellent. It was as if there was a human on the other end of it. There was no time delay. There were no kind of hesitation. I got some answers, although the answers may have been garbage. I'll never know for sure. So that was fine. And the second thing is, the first time I had a problem, the service was worse. That is to say, it was no longer a human function, and a lot of it was delegated to India. And then the last time I did it was just recently. I got AI, and you could tell right away it was terrible. It wasn't able to answer basic questions, etc., etc. So that's the situation. So what that tells you is that the quality of information is entirely dependent on how important it is for the information programmer. In a sales function, quality of information is extremely important, and so they put time, effort, and energy into that. From a complaint hotline standpoint, it was less important, and they put less energy into it. And then finally, at the end of the day, when it's a complaint, there's no interest whatsoever in anybody responding to any kind of complaint, and so the result of that was terrible service, and it was just terrible. It was one of these situations where it said wait here for 3 minutes and let me check into it, and it was like 9 minutes. That kind of situation. So that's kind of helpless. So that's why systems don't work, and that's why people get misunderstandings, and artificial intelligence will do nothing to fix that, and it may very well make it worse and even more frustrating, because the promise of artificial intelligence is much worse than the reality. All right, push-up time. $18, not terrible. Let's check the steps. $13.7.